welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for connecting to one of these other webinars about data analytics brought to you by Excel and BI, which is my company where I help people and businesses to do more with data. Okay. So in these webinars, we cover interesting topic for people working with AI, with data, sorry. Just the last few weeks, we've been hearing a lot of AI. So I just sometimes get confused if I actually working with data or AI, but it's a merge together because as we've been discussing recently with many professionals is that data is the foundational asset to build AI on top. So if you are looking to create more AI processes in your business, AI, it will be something that it will be the foundational for your success. So thank you for joining, as I just mentioned to you before, and I will be starting today with automation with Python. And before to start with that, I just want to tell you that Python is not what it used to be in terms of how easy it is nowadays to code with Python. So if you think that you need to be a programming language, you have to study programming language to be able to program with Python. It's not something like that at all nowadays, especially again with AI tools, because nowadays the toughest part in programming languages has been moving from learning coding, which used to be something really hard to get to grasp it. But nowadays we are able to say something in plain English or Spanish or the language that you speak, and then convert it into actions in code. So if you are not familiar with coding, I won't tell you to learn coding nowadays, but instead of that, you could learn concepts or frameworks how to better structure coding. Of course, you need to learn a bit of databases if you will be building a mobile app, for example. But for now, for this case, I would like to tell you that plain English could be sufficient to build your first automation, okay? So I will start to share my screen. I have a presentation ready for you, okay? That is the code, and this is the presentation. I hope that you are able to see my screen. So the offer that I have for you today is how you can automate 10 hours a week with Python. This is something that we all dream about. And there are some challenges, to be fair, of course, because for example, if I work as an accountant, my company probably has blocked me to install Python or something like that. So this will depend on your company, institution, or corporation that you work with. But if you are having your computer, this is totally safe to install it. You won't be sharing password to anybody. Everything will run in your own computer. So Python is a free tool. Everyone can use it. It's an open source, has been in the market for nearly 30 years, I think. I need to check that, but has been in the market for so many years. And actually the name of Python doesn't come from the snake. It comes from a UK TV show called Monty Python. So nothing related with the snake, but I just want everyone who will speak about Python sometimes relate to this snake, okay? So I will give you the hands-on tools, but I would like you firstly to understand the problematic that we try to solve with 10 hours of automation, because it sounds pretty catchy or really good hook to catch your attention that how can I take 10 hours more of my work? And this is the scenario that we'll be discussing today. At the end of this presentation, which will be last for around 20 minutes, you will be able to add your questions, and I will turn on your mics if you have any comments or questions, okay? Thank you. So as the Insights webinar that run every second week, every Fridays here in New Zealand and Thursdays in other places of the world, we discuss these and more topics. So if you're willing to keep learning with data and other important tech concepts, I'll invite you to sign up to these events. Coming up in April, we have someone who will be explaining how to build a whole app with Code. And also for June, we have someone who will be coming us to present us how to build a full end-to-end agent, which is an AI agent that can do many things for you. So those are the kind of things that are all interesting to talk because Now you have all the tools to get whatever do you want. It's just a matter of willing from you to try, test, break, and improve. And this is what has been happening to me as well. I just learned from so many different sources. So I encourage you to keep trying and learning. And this is what I do webinars for. If you hasn't been able to remember everything that we discussed here, all those webinars goes to YouTube. I cut in the part that you start with your question because just for sensitive information, I will protect you in that space. So when the mics goes on, that part won't be in the YouTube channel, okay? A brief story. This is how I would like to picture this, okay? And sorry, before just to start, I'm Ramon Zamorano, by the way. I am originally from Chile. I've been working in technology and data for the last 17 years. So I hope that some of my experience can be transferred to you and you can use it and leverage for your daily work, okay? So let's start with a brief story, okay? All of us, we have those certain tasks, those certain requests that we say it will take us 5 minutes. And taking the time and sitting next to people and even to me, for example, making a LinkedIn post, it just takes me 5 minutes. But actually, when you start to realize the time that, I need to make a LinkedIn post today, so I need to think what I will be putting on. So you can be in 1 hour thinking about what you will be posting or writing. And then it can take you like 5 minutes to put in LinkedIn. Then you will check the grammar, they will change it again. And then finally, that task that you said it will be 5 minutes, it ended up in 2 hours using part of your brain. You could be taking a coffee or do other things, but it was still in your brain. So this is the kind of thing that when we speak about 10 hours is to liberate your brain with 10 hours and you can put other ideas in something that I can give you more value. So this is the way how I frame it, because if you don't send that email to the lawyer that is waiting for you, it's keeping your brain and distract you for the things that you do. So this is so important for you to liberate and also reduce the stress. And this is what technology has been for me. It's been helping me to reduce my stress and try to do more with less, okay? This is the story I want to tell you. You get to the office, let's say 9 a.m. and then you check that you need to do it today. And then you just realize that today is the last day of the month, and then you need to run that report that you do every month, that it takes you just 5 minutes, okay? You say that you will be running this report today, and this is the goal for this morning, okay? But because only takes you 5 minutes, you don't think much about it, and then you start to do it. But someone comes to your desk and say, Ramon, why we don't just take a quick coffee and then we're back? And then you take a notepad and note it down that you will come back to that 5 minutes task in a moment, okay? So those kind of things happen in the offices, and even at home. You say, I will just go to fetch a simple coffee, and then I will be back to this task. But then you sit back and then you get distracted because you got another urgent email saying that I need this other thing right now. So that 5 minutes task has been put on hold for a moment. And then you reply this urgent email, and then you ended up nearly 11 a.m., which means 2 hours later, downloaded the file, and then just starting to do the process with just downloading a file, do some cleaning, presenting a report, and send it to your stakeholder. But in the middle of you were downloading the file crashed to download because probably was a problem in the internet, in the VPN, whatever kind of connection that you have in your computer, and then we ended up with lunchtime. So this doesn't happen the 100% of the time, but if you run, for example, a report twice a week or twice a month, and this kind of a scenario you will face it more and more every time that you run this quick report. This is what automation plays a key role. And of course, with AI has been accelerating the process and more people are getting into automation, okay? And this is what I will be solving today. This 5 minutes task, which takes 2 hours from your brain, into just you forget about this stuff, because then when we create this automation, everything will run by itself. Okay. Why automation matters? Because between 5 to 15 hours a week are lost in repetitive work. And also the another thing that I seen and I help people, and even happened to me a few time ago, that you copy and paste, Control-C, Control-V, or you compare two spreadsheets and you manually type those numbers, and then it breaks the process. Or sometimes the formulas that you have in Excel, you have a big Excel, and then you have some formulas, and then when you do some filtering, all the formulas get messed. So this is another problem. And automation is now accessible for everyone. As I just mentioned, we have so many tools. I will just discuss them from alternatives to Python if you don't want to hit Python yet. And also it helps you to shift into insights and what it matters for your daily work. So those kind of work, those kind of things that we automate, things that probably provide us less value, and so we can focus in what actually matters, which are probably people relationship, call to a customer, engage with a colleague, or mentoring someone, or be mentee by someone else. Where normally time gets lost, as I just put in the previous scenario, copy data between systems takes time and also gets confusion. Clean Excel files also become repetitive, and sometimes you get trapped in what was the last formula that I used that it was working properly. So you have a template, but something happened and then it doesn't work how it was working before, or you got distracted, or by mistake you delete your template and you ended up without the template of the formulas in Excel that you have before. So those kind of things can happen. It happened to me as well. So this is the kind of challenges you face. And then of course doing manual updates. That is why we're places from where the time gets lost. And what automation means, okay? Automation can be multiple things. Nowadays, automation is not purely coding. There are also structure. There's also UX automation design tools, which means that moving blocks from one place to another, you can create automations. So it's not required anymore to do scripts. However, we're still using scripts because it's feasible, simple, and reliable. This is something that I use for still. However, when I need to get connectors like a Gmail connector or website connectors, I tend to use more different tools. I will show you some of them in a moment, but I just want to tell you what automation means. Also, we are aiming for consistent execution. For example, you want to have every day of the week at 9 a.m. a report produced and send it to 100 people every single day. This is why we're looking for automation, that to have that consistency why we're looking for. And sometimes, most of the time is faster than manual work, but we're not trying to reduce, because you are the light brain here that it brought those ideas to automate this process. And as we just mentioned, we reduce errors and frees your time, which is so valuable nowadays. Some alternatives for you to create automation. There is a trending topic tool nowadays called NAN. Okay, NAN is a tool that you can use it on the web. You pay for subscription today. I think it's $20 a month or $40 New Zealand dollars, and then you get automations. But here I'm a bit conscious and the sensitivity of the data that you put there, because you're running this in the server from someone else. The other thing is, like, you get to rely on third parties, and then it's quite tricky sometimes. So if you want to have this solution, the cool thing that NAN is open source, you can install in your computer for free. So you can just go to their website and download it and install it completely from free in your computer. Okay, actually I have it run here. I will show you shortly how it looks like. Then if you are more in the Microsoft environment, we have Power Automate. If you work for a big corporate, you will see that probably you have this tool already and can do many things for you. Okay. Then we have Python, which is completely for free. If you would like to experiment in your own computer, Python is a free tool that everyone can use it. It's totally open source and also can help you to do nice and neat automations, but this is code based, okay? These two are based in user interface in a web browsers from where you move boxes to boxes, okay? And then we have the new agents, which is, for example, ChatGPT agent, which looks like you have a web browser, same as the Chrome, for example, but you have in the left panel and a chat from where you can start to say, check the latest updates for my flight that is coming up next week, or for example, like that. And the thing that it does is it moves the cursor in the web browser and start to click on it and start to do certain automation from you. However, this kind of automation just works when you have them open, but they are bringing a really good instance. However, you need to pay for the $40 plan, and it gets tricky because you start to pay for ChatGPT, you start to pay for Claude, you start to pay for NAN, so you can end up easily with $100 of billing every month for this kind of alternatives. However, as I just mentioned to you before, there are some of them that are free, and when you think that they are working right, then you can decide to either move into the cloud version from them and pay them, or move it to your own server. So it's up to you what you would like to do. Then we have other tools like Perplexity that also offers you to access to a whole variety of LLM models. LLM models are the models, AI models that tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini, they use it to understand the context. So each vendor has their own alternative. However, Perplexity join many of them into one solution, okay? So there are different colors, variety. I will suggest you, if you're just about to start, I will suggest you to start with something like NAN or Power Automate, which are simple to use. I'm not vendor restricted, so I can use any of them, okay? Now, the 10 hours of opportunity that we have here, the 2 hours of downloading files, 3 hours of data cleaning, 2 hours of reporting, 2 hours of correction, 1 hour of communication. This was a trap that I've been in the past, because my Excel files used to get really loaded with so many formulas that get really hard to work on them. And every time that I was opening and updating this table in a spreadsheet, it was getting crashed. And it was because just Excel is not designed to load this heavy lifting tasks. So that's when I move and test Python, okay? The mindset that you have to have at the time when we're building those automation is start to list all the repetitive tasks. Actually, some time ago, I create a matrix from where I list all the repetitive tasks that with a different columns, that one column represent the ones that I must be done by myself, the ones that can be delegated, and the ones that can be automated. So in that way, I've been able to create better automation, and I have a backlog from testing automation that I will be able to create in the future. But it's really important to get that mindset to start to list all the things that you do daily, and then you realize that there are many things that doesn't require you. And it's scary sometimes, because as a superheroes, we would like to do everything by ourselves, but then we will realize that there are things that doesn't create much value and can perfectly be automated. It can be put into this list, okay? The other thing that is important for your mindset is break this into steps, okay? Every task that you do has a sequential flow. For example, firstly, I will open the web browser, then I will download this task, then I will open the spreadsheet, and I will do this in the column A, I will do this in the column B, and I will do this in the column E, then I will extract it, and then we'll format it, so on and so forth. But it's really important for you to break this into steps. So it's really good to have a methodology mindset to go step by step to reach your goal. If you see, so far we haven't even touched the code, but I want to tell you the concepts that you need to have to create a proper automation, okay? And standardization of inputs and outputs as well is so important as well, because sometimes you will receive, we ran a survey and we left a question that it should be yes or no, but we left the open field that everyone put yes with capital Y, lowercase, just the Y letter or the whole yes. So those kind of things create inconsistency, and also it make it really hard for the automation, because automation doesn't do nothing more than make this task over and over again. But if these inputs are not consistent, you will face problems like the automation crash just because someone put a dot at the end. So the way how you can resolve those kind of scenarios is try to force, for example, surveys to have a fixed or multi-selection answers. So in that way you avoid this kind of problem. So the hardest part for automation from a survey, for example, is to have those 3 fields. Nowadays, we have AI tools that can help you with that more, but I still can make errors. So I will suggest you to really think in the input that it will be consistent, okay? And of course, start small. You can eat the whole elephant from 1 bite. You need to start bite by bite. I would suggest you to start with a really, really super tiny automation, something that I could help you today, something that you would like to play with. And this is how I start, just 1 block, 2 blocks, nothing more than that. And that's all for you to build this automation. And consistency, yeah. This is what we're aiming here, is like repetitive consistency for us to be able to create something unique, okay? And this is what I will be building today. Just checking the time, how I'm going within the time. If you have any question, just feel free to put them in the chat, or I will be open the microphone just as soon as we start this presentation, okay? I hope that you enjoyed it so far. And a basic Python workflow could look like get data, transform the data, store the result, and schedule the execution, and do this consistently and to produce output results. As you can see, get data for me will be extract the data from a website, then transform it and produce the result into Excel, because it's just a tool that I decide that I would like to keep producing my reports. It can be something like Power BI in the future, it could be a web browser, it could be so many other things, but just to make it really simple, we'll just keep it as an Excel file, okay? And the results that we are aiming to get is to, instead of to have a manual process, have it fully automated from inconsistent to a standard process, and of course from slow to fast, and make it reliable. And I think this is one of the best things with automation, that you make the things reliable and consistent. So before to jump into the practical experience, it's really important for me to get your review on these webinars, because this is the way how we grow. So if you have your phone near to you, just feel free to scan the QR code, and then you will be able to give it to us some feedback, because this is the way how we keep growing and producing more and better webinars for yourself, okay? Thank you so much. I will show you this QR code at the end as well. So if you haven't been able to grab your phone and scan it, don't worry, just we can do that at the end. Thank you. Now let's go hands-on tools. I hope that you are willing to learn something new today, and this is what I will be showing you now for you to use it, okay? This is how IDE looks like, okay? This is a software which allows me to write Python code, okay? Because we're speaking about Python today, and this is what I would like to show you, okay? In this code, in Python, this is a simple file that I have on my download folder, okay? And this software is completely free. I just mentioned for you to download it. You can download it in Visual Code, which is from Microsoft, and you can just get it for free, and in a few minutes it will be in your computer. As I just mentioned, if you work for a big corporation or for somewhere you have certain things blocked in your computer, probably you won't be able to install it right away, but this will work in your computer without any problems. I'm currently using Mac, but run without any problems as well in Apple, okay? Sorry, in Windows and even Linux, okay? So here is what I will be doing. And here I put just a comment part from where I explain all what we'll be doing, okay? And then this is what I have here. Don't worry about much about the structure. And this is what I'm doing here. We'll be downloading data from this place, okay? If I go to this place, I will open a new web browser. So if I just go here, okay? This is a source of data that you can use as a test. It's a JSON file from where you can access to this data. Nothing fancy, just sample data for our test, okay? The thing that I will do, I will copy and paste it into this file, which is a CSV. Then I will create the output, which will be called clean post CSV. And then I will put all the logs, all the steps that I went through this automation and save it into this file, okay? Here, it's really good practice for you to put comments in the code. So in that way, you can say step by step understand what you are about to do. This step, the thing that it does, because I know a bit of Python, so this step, the thing that it does, identify where's the output folder name, and then it will create the timestamp with this format, okay? I will show you all this in practice shortly. Just be with me, don't get concerned about this Python code yet. So this is how it goes, and then you say like take them to the CSV file, connect to the point, then wait 30 milliseconds, because sometimes you have certain delay, and then convert, and then okay. So don't get distracted. I will be sharing you this code with you, but I want to tell you that this code I have built it completely with AI. Okay. In the past, I used to spend a lot of time just creating this code from scratch. However, nowadays for me it's really easy because thanks to AI. Okay, I will show you how to build your own one. Okay. So if I run this code, okay. It just ran here and put the comments that is ready for me to read it. So in here is the output file, and this has been just added today. So instead of that, I will open this one. So let me close. Oh, closing this. Yes. Okay. I will open this. Open with Visual Code. I will delete the files that I have here, okay, and that way you will see that they get created as the code runs. So I will run this code, which is running on my Mac. Yep. All right. Now, as you can see, just in seconds, it creates these files. The first file that it created is this one. Then it created this one, and here's the automation log. As you can see, if I open this CSV file, which is a type of from Excel file, which is super light to use with, and here you will see that this is how the data got structured and being dropped here. Okay. So really without much format, but the data is there. All right. And here in the output is how the data is looking like, ready to be shared across my stakeholders. As you can see, I add those two columns, which is the process date and the who has processed it, which was part of this webinar. Okay. And in here, we have what we've been doing so far. Okay. The first thing is start with downloading the file. Then it say that it was completed with 100 rows, and then it say where it will be sending it, and then remove the duplicates and so on. Some simple data cleansing. But for example, let's say that I would like to make changes in this automation. Okay. Let's say that I would like to, for example, instead of to have a CSV file, which is a format that I don't like it much, and I would like just to make it as the output with XLX file. So in Visual Code, you can install something called GitHub Copilot, which is free as well, and it will give you the option for you to start to change this. For example, the only thing that I can say here to the chat is, instead of a CSV file, please, actually I don't need to say please, but I will just make it quickly. Instead of CSV file as output, make it XLX, which is the format from Excel which I'm more familiar with. So I just click enter, and the thing that it will do, AI will do its job. But the difference between to copy and paste it into ChatGPT is that this tool, it takes full control of my coding here. So as you can see, it's written here and it's generating the batch. And now allow this session. It asks me, okay, I will change this, and for that you need to have this library installed, and I will say keep. And as you can see, it changed what I wanted to do. Okay, so here just say allow. Yeah, I know that it's safe because I put in allow, and it's because all the things that happen is within my computer, so it's not deleting or touching anything. Of course, if you have a production database or production code, I would suggest you to don't be careful in the folder from where you're working, because this tool, it will touch it. Okay, but if you are working in an isolated folder, it shouldn't be any problem at all. Okay, so now we'll rerun this code. And as you can see, instead of creating a CSV file, it created for me an XLX file, which is way better format. And here now everything looks much nicer. So we can start to do even more things. For example, I would like to put the date format without the time, just year, and day, or I just put it, look, I will just show you. In the time stamp, please put the date format in day / month / 4 times y. So I just doing this click, and you see, instead of to show me the date with the format 2026 how it was before, I'm asking to do it in a different way, and as you can see, immediately change it. And thank you, and this is done, and now I will execute the code. Okay, all right, this has been completed. Just to be sure, I will delete this. It just overwrite for you, so it's no problem. All right, now it's completed, and as you can see, easy as that. Yeah, this has been complete. And now the date format is in the format that I was looking for. This is just a sample of what you can do with Python. And this is become, if you want to work with this bit more advanced, this is for you. However, as I just mentioned to you, if you want to be in a more approachable way, this is another solution that I use a lot, which is NAN. It's installed on my computer, so my data doesn't go anywhere. It's safely protected on my computer. And this is what I have. For example, this flow runs every day, and the thing that it does, it runs every day at 6 a.m. Okay, and help me to create some topics for my LinkedIn post, and then generate a question based on multiple questions, and then I do certain steps and do certain research on the website. And at the end, I receive an email asking me some ideas from what I could post on LinkedIn. As you can see, this is way more like a blog place. And here you can execute it like this. And that's the full execution. This process also has been built nearly entirely with AI, but I want to tell you that having the clarity for you to build ideas step by step, it will be the ones that I will put you aside. I would like you, if you want to test something really simple today, I will recommend you to go to ChatGPT, for example, if you have the free subscription or club, and ask to create the simplest Python script that you will be able to run today for an automation. And from there, you can start to play with different sort of like automation. This, as I just mentioned to you before, all this code has been built entirely and purely with AI. I just make a prompt that I would like to download a sample file and then save it into Excel, clean it a little bit and put in here. And also I asked to the AI tool, put a lot of comments on the script. And that way I can troubleshoot it much easier. Of course, with my knowledge with Python in the past, it can help me to troubleshoot this more, but for you it's an opportunity as well. And times is passing and there will be more changes within the time. So if you have any question related with this, feel free to flick me an email or a message and I will be more than happy to share you that. And now, just before to close up my presentation, I would like to appreciate your time in this session. And I am always open for questions. So if you have questions, feel free to add me into LinkedIn and send me your question. Or by email, I will be more than happy to come back. Thank you so much to have listened to this webinar. I hope that you enjoy it and also you learn something new today. This is what I'm doing, those webinars. I just want to appreciate your time and also extend you an invitation if you would like to attend any live event like those ones. Just go to excelenvi.com/events and from there you will be able to sign up to future events. There's always something coming up, so you are more than welcome to join us in any of those events. Thank you so much. See you next time. This is Ramon. See you around. Bye.